I am Vivian, and I met the love of my life on the cruise. My family was prominent in the banking and finance field, and I supervised one of the biggest banks in the country. At the very young age of 26, I was able to climb my way to the top of the pedestal and secure my career. Many people say that my skills in accounting and finance are in it since my parents are in the same realm as well. I just love my job so much that I was able to earn bigger compared to people my age, especially my batchmates. I am so lucky that I was able to land a job immediately. Also, I was lucky because I found the perfect man for me. It was a fine day on the cruise. It was our first day. When I saw my future husband, Renz, he was quite sophisticated and lost at the same time. He kept on asking the staff where to go and what to do with his things. I was with my friends celebrating my birthday when I was smitten by him. Later that night, we met at the bar, and it is where our destinies started to align. We talked for hours. He told me that he went on the cruise because he wanted to unwind due to family problems. During that night, we talked for hours and we got this instant connection. Aside from exchanging glances and sweet talks, we also exchanged social media and even contact numbers. The entire cruise experience was perfect because I get to meet him, and little did I know that it is the start of our fun adventure. We met several times after the cruise. We bond and date often, and sometimes we would just sit in the parking lot talking nonsense. I came to know him even more from his career as a teacher down to his family. Surprisingly, he is an only child and is very devoted to his family. However, he also rants to me about most of his problems concerning his family, and with that, I grew to sympathize and empathize with him even more. We became a couple after 3 months of getting to know each other. I introduced him to my parents, and they adore him. They welcomed him as part of the family. However, Renz never got the chance to introduce me to his family while we were still dating because they live in the province. I always wanted to meet them and to know them because I don't want my perception towards them to be clouded with Renz's rants about them to me. But I'm not saying that I'm invalidating his feelings, but I just want to understand them as well. But we never had the chance to meet each other, and I only have little information about them. That is why whenever my father would ask me about his background, I couldn't answer him right away because even I don't know what to say. He kept it a secret to me, and maybe it's just his personality, laid back and mysterious, and he's a very private person. Nonetheless, our relationship was so smooth and healthy. Maybe there were just times that we went into arguments because I was so suspicious of his actions. He would talk to someone on the phone almost every night, and he said that it was just his mom, and he gets annoyed every time I insisted that I wanted to see her. On top of that, he always went back home every once in a month, and he won't ever tell me details of his homecoming. I just wanted to feel like I'm a part of his life, and I'm not just some kind of a prop, but I trust him so much, and every time we argued, we immediately fixed it. And also, sometimes he would ask for money from me. He said that his salary was delayed and that his family needs it. So without hesitation, I lent him money. He kept on saying that he will pay it back, but didn't. However, I paid it no mind because I wanted to help. And with that, after a year of dating, he proposed to me on the same cruise ship where we met. It was a very romantic night and I fell in love. I said yes to his proposal and it was the best day ever. I love him so much and he meant the world to me. So after a month, we finally said our vows and were officially wed. I told him that we should have a long engagement because I want us to travel first, but he insisted on getting married immediately. And he was right, it was the best decision because the love was blooming and ever present. The celebration was very intimate. The guests were just my family members and his mother, Flor, and it was the first time I met his mother. We spent our honeymoon on another cruise ship. My life at that moment was perfect. My career was thriving, and my heart is genuinely happy. But little did I know that beneath the surface of my seemingly happy marriage, a web of deceit and treachery was being woven. The events that unfolded in my life were like something out of a suspenseful drama. After our honeymoon, we moved to our own home immediately, and I was surprised when my husband told me that his mother was going to live with us. Of course, I was excited because I will get to spend time with her at last, but at the same time, I was wondering if we could have our own private space together where we could function as a couple. Nonetheless, I was so happy to welcome his mother Fleur to our humble abode. I accommodated her and treated her just like my own mother, and she was also caring towards me. We had a beautiful relationship. Most of the time, I pay for the groceries and bills because I have the upper hand when it comes to the salary grade, but I don't compare it to my husband because I know that he was working hard as well. Nevertheless, we are still a loving family. One day, a drastic shift in our family dynamics because I started to notice something. Because shortly after we were comfortable with each living under the same roof, he dropped a bombshell on me. He had a half sister named Sandra from his mother's side, and he wanted her to come live with us. He told me that it was always been the cause of their family problems, his mother's daughter. He was concerned about the status of his sister, that's why he wanted her to live with us. So I agreed. Again. But I was so suspicious, it feels like something was not right, and my husband was only lying to me all this time. From then on, I had a nagging feeling that my husband, his mother Fleur, and my sister-in-law Sandra were concealing something from me. It started innocently enough when Renz claimed to be an only child while we were dating, and now he has a half sister? Although I had reservations, I empathized with Renz's desire to reconnect with his newfound sibling, and just like what I have said, I welcomed Sandra into our home, hoping that our bond as sisters-in-law would grow strong. And it did. Sandra proved to be helpful and kind, assisting with household chores and effortlessly blending into our lives. But as time went on, I couldn't ignore the unusual dynamics within our family. The closeness between Ren, Sandra, and Fleur was unnerving considering they had only recently discovered each other's existence. Ren was so close to Sandra for only 1 month. I mean, there is nothing wrong about that, but based on their body language, it seems like their relationship was more intimate, and it seems like they have already known each other for so long. I don't want to put crazy and unbelievable conclusions in my head because maybe I was being delusional, but my instincts tell me that they have something going on. Because they would engage in secretive conversations, share knowing glances, and exclude me from important household decisions. And take note, Fleur, my mother-in-law grew distant towards me. She would ask for money from me but talk to Sandra regarding household decisions. On top of that, while I was busy with work, the three of them would go out or travel together without even asking me to join them. They also went home to their province while leaving me behind. It felt as if they were a united front against me, leaving me isolated and filled with suspicion. One fateful day, Fleur's love for classical music played right into my hands. As she played the tunes on the speaker, I couldn't have predicted what would come next. The haunting melody shifted and a recording began to play. The voices of Renz and Sandra exchanging vows, pledging their eternal love for one another. I knew all too well that it was their voices.
Sandra, my love, from the moment I first laid eyes on you, I knew you were the missing piece of my soul. Today I stand before you, pledging my eternal love and devotion.
Renz, my beloved, you have filled my life with joy and happiness. I vow to cherish and support you in every moment, through thick and thin, for the rest of our lives.
Tears streamed down my face as the vows continue, each word a stab to my heart.
I promise to love you unconditionally, to be your rock, and to protect you from harm. You are my one true love, now and forever.
And I vow to be your partner in every sense, to stand by your side through all life's challenges. Together we will create a future filled with love and laughter.
My hands trembled as I tried to comprehend the magnitude of the betrayal. The realization hits me like a ton of bricks. How could they do this to me? They had been carrying an illicit affair right under my nose, disguised as a sibling relationship. I feel so betrayed. My entire body began to shake. I am having an anxiety attack and I couldn't comprehend what they are saying. I heard Fleur immediately turn the speaker, but it was too late. I already heard everything loud and clear. I also heard Renz and Sandra come rushing to the living room when I heard everything. They found me standing there with no expression at all. I fished out my phone and started to record our confrontation. What is this? Renz, Sandra, what is the meaning of this recording?
Vivian, I can explain. It's not what you think.
Vivian, please, let us explain. We never meant to hurt you.
Explain? How could you possibly explain this? You've been lying to me all along. Confronted with the undeniable evidence, the room fell into a tense silence. I demanded answers, desperate to understand the depth of their betrayal.
Vivian, I'm so sorry. Sandra isn't Renz's half-sister. She's his wife. They have a daughter together.
I could feel my knees almost collapsing. This is not true. His wife? How could you do this to me, Renz? We're married. We took vows.
I just used you for money, Vivian. You were interested in me first in the cruise, and by the looks of it, you were rich. So I did what I had to do. It was all about providing for our daughter. I thought marrying you would secure a better future for all of us.
My voice started to shake, and my body is getting weaker. A better future at the expense of my trust, my love, and my happiness? This is beyond betrayal, Renz. It's unforgivable. I walked out of the house and drove my car away from that hellhole. Overwhelmed by grief, anger, and betrayal, I knew I had to take action. I called 911, desperate for support and guidance in this unimaginable situation. As the authorities arrived, I discreetly began recording our confrontation on my phone. I needed undeniable proof of their deception to bring them to justice and protect myself from further harm. With the recording in my possession, I carefully devised a plan for revenge. I enlisted the help of a trusted friend who happened to be a skilled hacker. Together, we uncovered a multitude of evidence, financial transactions, and clandestine messages that exposed Renz and Sandra's deceitful relationship. Knowing that my husband's illicit affair had significant legal implications, I consulted with a skilled attorney. Armed with the evidence we had gathered, we plotted a strategic course of action to ensure their downfall. We planned to reveal their secret marriage, the deception, and their motives to the world. As the truth unraveled, I executed my plan flawlessly. I organized a gathering, inviting friends, family, and even influential members of our subdivision. I projected the incriminating evidence for all to see, shocking them with the deceit that had festered beneath our seemingly happy facade. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here today. I have something important to share with all of you. The room fell into stunned silence as the evidence played out, confirming the heinous acts committed against me. Gasps of disbelief echoed through the room, and I could see the fear and shame etched on Renz's and Sandra's face. Without uttering a word, I stood tall, empowering the knowledge that their malicious plot had been exposed. I delivered a poignant speech, denouncing their treachery and the pain they had caused. The crowd, moved by my strength and resilience, rallied behind me in support. Today I stand before you as a survivor, a testament to the indomitable spirit that lies within each of us. I refuse to let their deception define me. From this moment forward, I reclaim my power, my dignity, and my life. News of their actions spread like wildfire, reaching far beyond our community. The exposure of their deceit became a cautionary tale, serving as a stark reminder of the consequences that awaited those who sought to manipulate and deceive others. In the aftermath, I emerged from the chaos with a newfound sense of self worth and an unwavering determination to protect myself from the future harm. Renz and Sandra faced legal repercussions, their reputations tarnished beyond repair. As for me, I rebuilt my life surrounded by a support system that understood the depth of my pain and celebrated my resilience. I channeled my experiences into advocating for victims of deceit and betrayal, using my voice to raise awareness and fight for justice. The revenge I sought was not only successful in exposing their malicious intentions, but also provided me with closure and the strength to reclaim my life. I vowed never to let anyone undermine my happiness or manipulate my trust again, emerging from the darkness stronger and wiser than ever before. In the aftermath of their exposure, the legal consequences for Renz and Sandra were severe. The truth they had tried so desperately to conceal had become a public spectacle, resulting in criminal charges and a lengthy legal battle. Their lives crumbled under the weight of their deceit, leaving them isolated and scorned by society. As their trial commenced, I stood tall as a witness, ready to testify against the individuals who had shattered my trust and violated the sanctity of our marriage. The courtroom was filled with tense energy as the prosecution presented the evidence we had meticulously gathered. The recordings, financial transactions, and incriminating messages laid bare the full extent of their betrayal. I watched as the truth unfolded before the eyes of the judge and jury. Renz and Sandra's attempts to deny their actions were feeble and futile in the face of overwhelming evidence. They crumbled under the weight of their lies, unable to refute the facts laid out before them. The verdict was delivered with a resounding affirmation of their guilt. Renz and Sandra were found guilty of fraud, conspiracy, and emotional abuse, among other charges. The courtroom erupted in a mix of relief and satisfaction as justice was served. The judge, recognizing the severity of their crimes, handed down a sentence that would ensure they paid for their actions. They were sentenced to significant prison terms, effectively ending their reign of deception. While the legal battle brought closure and a sense of justice, it did little to mend the emotional scars they had inflicted upon me. I sought solace in therapy, turning to professional support to help navigate the complex web of emotions that had consumed me throughout this ordeal. It was a long and challenging journey, but with time I began to heal. The experience transformed me in profound ways. I emerged from the darkness with a renewed sense of self-worth and an unwavering belief in my resilience, surrounded myself with genuine caring individuals who restored my faith in love and trust. Together we created a strong support system that nurtured and empowered me as I rebuilt my life. Inspired by my journey, I dedicated myself to helping others who had experienced similar betrayals. I became an advocate for victims of deceit and emotional abuse, using my voice and personal story to raise awareness and provide support. I partnered with organizations, joined support groups, and shared my experiences to let others know they were not alone. In the wake of their downfall, the truth served as a powerful catalyst for change in my life. I seized the opportunity to redefine my priorities and pursue my passions wholeheartedly. I embarked on new career endeavors, seizing the chance to explore my potential and forge a path based on my desires and ambitions. As time went on, the scars from that dark chapter began to fade, replaced by resilience and an unshakable belief in my strength. The revenge I sought was not merely about inflicting pain upon those who had wronged me, it was about reclaiming my power and refusing to be a victim. Ultimately, I emerged from this harrowing experience as a survivor, a testament to the indomitable spirit that lies within each of us. The successful revenge I had sought was not one of vengeance and destruction, but rather of personal growth, resilience, and the unwavering commitment to honor my worth.